All right, today we're going to take notes starting our functions unit. All right, so first we're going to start with um, coordinate plane and what a coordinate plane is. So a coordinate plane is a plane that's divided into four regions. Um, that's used for graphing. So some of this should be just a little bit of a review. All right. So as you'll see, we have a coordinate plane down there listed below. But remember, it's divided into four regions. So the first thing we're going to do is label some of the parts of it. Okay. So first of all, the origin. The origin is right here in the middle. Okay. The origin is the middle. Okay. And the origin, okay, is the ordered pair 0, 0. All right. So anytime we talk about the origin, that's what we're talking about. It's the very middle and it's 0, 0. Quadrants, this is where it's divided up into four. Okay. And it's kind of numbered weird. It's numbered counterclockwise. So the first quadrant is right here, and they use Roman numerals. So this is quadrant 1. Okay. Quadrant 2 is to the left. So again, it's going counterclockwise. Again, we're using Roman numerals. Quadrant 3 is the bottom left. Okay. And then quadrant 4 is the bottom right. Okay. So again, you label your quadrants, it's in the fourths, and it's using Roman numerals. Next, we have the x-axis. Okay. The x-axis is the horizontal line right there. Okay. So that's the x-axis. Okay. The y-axis, okay, is the vertical line. All right. So those are all the parts of the coordinate plane. Now, next is ordered pair. What is an ordered pair? Pretty much an ordered pair is a point. So just like we said, the origin was 0, 0, that's an ordered pair. Okay. And it's usually listed as X, then Y. Okay. And it's a point that's on the graph. Okay. Now, we'll move to the next section where we're going to name some of the ordered pair. So we go right here to naming. Okay. So if you'll look, all of these here are points on the graph. They're ordered pair. Okay. We're going to name those ordered pair. Okay. So if we look at A first, and remember it's X, then Y. So we're going to go down the X axis and then the Y axis. And we always start at the origin, which is 0, 0. So I'm going to start right here and I'm doing A first. So to get to A, if I start at 0, I'm going over 1, 2, 3, which is -3. To the left is negative. And I'm going up 1, 2, 3, 4, positive 4. That's my ordered pair. Well, what quadrant is that in? And so remember, our quadrants are like this. So what quadrant is that in? It's in quadrant 2. All right. Now let's look at B. Here's B. Okay, so I'm going to clear that out. All right. So I'm looking at B. I start at the origin. Okay. I'm going to the right, 1, 2. So that's a positive 2. All right. And then I'm going down 1, 2, 3. That's negative 3. And that's in quadrant 4. Okay. Now let's look at C. All right. C, if I start at 0, I didn't go over any. So it's 0. Is the X. And then I went up a positive 2. Okay. And the quadrant for that is actually the y-axis because it's not in any one of them. It's just on the y-axis. So remember, this is yx and this is y. So that point it lays straight on the y-axis. Okay. Let's look at D. D, I go over all the way over to a positive 7. And I go up 1. And that is in quadrant 1. Look at E right here. I go over to the left 4. So that's negative 4. And I go down 6, which is negative 6. And that's in quadrant 3. And then last is F. F, I go over to the left 5. So that's negative 5. And then I don't go up or down any. So that's 0. And then notice how it sits on the X axis. So that's what that is. It's the X axis. Okay. Now we're not going to talk about discrete or continuous graphs right now. All right. So we're going to go to our next page of notes. Okay. And I'm going to spin this around. Okay. So now we have, thank you. All right. So now we have relations. All right. And we're going to see what those are. So this is where, so when we talk about relations, the definition of relations is a set of ordered pair. So now we're going to look at several different ordered pairs. Okay. A set of X values is called the domain. So you're going to remember that X values is the domain. And Y values is called the range. All right. That's going to be very important. X is domain. Y is range. Okay. So what we're going to do first is we're going to take this set of ordered pair. Okay. And we're going to write the domain and the range. So remember that the domain is X and the range is Y. Also remember that ordered pair is written as X, Y. Okay, so that's important. So when I look at this first set right here, this is the X, this is the Y. The domain, we will only list, okay, we will only list the X values for the domain. And we always put them in braces, okay? Now, the other thing we always do is we order them from least to greatest, okay? Now, fortunately, this is already listed in least to greatest. The other thing that we don't do is we don't repeat numbers, okay? So let's look at all the X's in these ordered pair, and we're going to list them. So we got negative 3, negative 2, 1, positive 3, and then we have negative 3 again. We don't have to list it twice. So then we just put our braces around it. So if that's a repeating number, you only list it once. Okay. Now the range will do all the Y values. So we have 1, 0, 2, negative 4, and 5. Now, what I messed up on here is that I have to put them in order from least to greatest, okay? So I'm going to go back here and erase and make sure I put these in order from least to greatest, okay? So it should be -4, 0, 1, 2, and 5. So the X's was already listed in order from least to greatest, but the Y's wasn't. So just remember to put them in order from least to greatest. The next thing we're going to do is take this and put it into the table, okay? So -3, -2, 1, 3, -3. Now do all the Y's. 1, 0, 2, -4, and 5. Okay. Now, mapping, again, you only have to, so basically, this is the X, this is the Y. Do not repeat the numbers. Okay. So if you want to, you can take what you wrote for the domain and range. Okay. So what I'm going to do is write my domain that I wrote. So -3, -2, 1, and 3. And then write my range, -4, 0, 1, 2, 5. And basically what you're doing is that you're matching them. So -3 goes to 1. Okay. -2 goes to 0. 1 goes to 2. 3 goes to -4. And then -3 also goes to 5. Okay. So I'm taking the ordered pair and I'm putting them in there. And then the last thing you would do is graph the ordered pair. Okay, so our first one is -3, 0. Remember, start at the origin. So -3, 1, excuse me. So I'll go over to the left, 1, 2, 3, and up 1. There's 1 point. Then -2, 0, go over to the left, 1, 2, and put it right there on the axis. Then 1, 2, go over to the right, 1, and up 2. And then 3, -4, go over to the right, 1, 2, 3, and down 1, 2, 3, 4. And then go -3, 5, go over to the left 3 and up 5. 3, 4, 5. Okay. And then now I have my graph. All right. We'll do another one of those down here, looking at number 2. Remember, the domain is X, the range is Y, least to greatest. Okay. So it is already, the X's are already in order from least to greatest. So I'm going to do -2, -1, 0, 2, 5. Now we got to do the Y's and put them in order from least to greatest. So -4 is the smallest number, then -3, -2, -1, and then +4. Okay. Now I just take this and put in here. So -2, -3, -1, +4, 0, -2, 2, -4, 5, -1. Okay. Now remember, this is X, this is Y. All right. So since I didn't have any repeating numbers, I can go ahead and just write all of the X's down. Okay. Write all the Y's down. Well, and again, it will be, we want to put them in order from least to greatest. So sorry. So if you'll use your domain and your range that you wrote, it'll help you with the mapping. Okay. So just take this right here and use for those, okay? It'll help you. So then I just have to match them up. So -2 goes to -3. -1 goes to +4. 0 goes to -2. 2 goes to -4. And 5 goes to -1. So now they're all matched. And then the last thing that I do is I do the ordered pair on the graph, place on the graph. So -2 go to the left, 1, 2, and down -3, 1, 2, 3. Put my point. Then -1, 4. Put my point. Then 0, -2, 2, -4, and 5, -1. Okay. So then I have all representations, okay, of a set of relations. All right. Now we're going to go to our last page of what we're going to do today. Let me flip it around. Okay. And we're going to, all of these go together. So now we're talking about functions. So basically a function is a relationship between values. Okay. So we have an input, which is the X. And then we have an output, all right, which is a Y. Okay. Now, we also have things that are functions, and then we have things that are not functions. Okay. So I'm going to give you an example of ordered pair that's a function. So if we have 10, if you write these down, this is what you call a function. Okay. Now this over here, let me see if I can change colors so it'll be just a little bit better. This set of numbers, okay, is not a function. So now the question is why? Like how do I know what is and what's not? Okay. It's not a function, all right, when the X value repeats. Okay. X repeats. That's when you know that it's not a function. So if I look, I see that I have a -1 and a -1. Okay. If I have two -1s, or if the X values repeat, it's not a function. Okay. So the X cannot repeat. Over here, you see I have 10, 5, 7, and 11. None of those repeat. So it is a function. Okay. So if we go to the next section here, we're going to determine whether each relation is a function. So just look at the X values: 5, 3, 2, 0, -1. None of those repeated. So my answer is yes, it's a function. Okay. And let's look at number 2, -2, 0, 2, 3, 2. So I notice that this 2 repeats. So it's no. Okay. On number 3, look at the X's: -4, -3, -2, 1, -3. The -3s repeat. So my answer is no. Okay. Look at number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, there's nothing that repeats. So my answer is yes. Okay. So again, if the x repeats, it's not a function. Okay. All right. Scroll up. So again, we're going to determine if it's a function or not. All right. So look at the x values. All right. 3, 1, 0, 2, 3. The answer is no. Why? Because the 3's repeated. Okay. The 3's repeated. So it's a no. Okay. Look at number 6. It's a yes. None of those repeated. Look at number 7. It's a yes. None of those repeated. Look at number 8. It's a no. Why is it a no? Because I have a 4 and a 4. They repeat. Look at number 9. It's a yes. None of those repeated. And number 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a yes. All right. So you look at the X values and see. Now look at these. Notice how these only go, they're single lines there. So this is a yes because none of those repeated. But look here on number 12. Notice how I have 2 lines coming from -1. That means it's repeating. So it's a no. Okay. And then 13, these are single lines. So it's a yes. Okay. And then we will finish up right here. And so there's this thing called a vertical line test. Okay. So basically, if you can draw a line, if you draw a line, so if you draw a vertical line, okay, and it passes through more than one point, okay, then it's not a function. Okay. All right. So an example here, if this was a graph, okay, and I had a line, okay, okay, then yes, that would be a function. All right. But so basically, what I could do is that if I drew vertical lines through here, all right, it would only pass one point. Okay. But if you look at something like this, okay, and I drew a vertical line through it, notice how it intersects here and here on the same line. So the answer will be no. This would be a yes. That would be a no. All right. So if I go down here to 14, okay, and I start drawing vertical lines, so what do I notice here? It intersects there and there. Okay. So because of this, that would be a no. If I do here, I see that there's only one point on each line. Okay. So this would be a yes. Okay. All right. Let's look at a few more of these. So basically, what you're doing is you're just drawing a line, just a vertical line, and see how many times it intersects through the line that's drawn on there. So this would be a yes because it only hits one time. Okay. But here, this would be a no. See, because it's hitting there, it hits there again. If I draw that line, it hits there twice. So that's a no. This, see, when I draw that one line, it's hitting more than once, hitting twice. So that's a no. Okay. This one, it's only hitting once. Each line that I draw, it only hits one time. So that's a yes. Okay. This one, if I draw a line right through there, it's hitting every little point. Okay. That's a no. Okay. And then this one, it kind of looks like it might, but it doesn't. So that's a yes. All right. So I know this was a little lengthy, but it's pretty easy once you get the hang of it. Okay. So make sure that now you follow the directions that Ms. Wolf has put for you in Google Classroom. Thanks.